Monday Mindset. Good morning, everyone. And it is Monday, and we know what Monday is. The Two Sisters, it is Monday Mindset. This is Carol Sue, aka Naughty Boss, live with you.
Sisters, and good morning, everyone. My name is Janice with the blaring light in my face, aka Wellness Diva, and we are on a little bit earlier this morning than expected. But that's okay. Sometimes we pop in early, sometimes we pop in late. And speaking of popping in, there's a lot of popping with the bandwidth issues and certain people being in Facebook jail.
It's first of all, we have to be careful of our words. So we're going to say flake book face. And we're not going to use the J word. We're going to use the restricted word because it is what it is, folks, and that is what's going on. I find it comical to a certain degree, and actually we were, many people were warned about this. We were warned by many key players in the entrepreneurial world, one being Dan Bongino, and obviously a lot of people realize what's going on regarding him and Parler and all the tech conglomerates doing what they're doing, that they would find it in their busy schedule to go after, what I consider, we love our audience, we love impacting people, sharing health and wellness, and how our daily life and what's going on in our daily life intertwines with our health and wellness. And that's why a lot of times you do hear us talking about current events. But to go after someone very small scaled, we are working on our platform. We have not even done our podcast for how many months now has it been? Since April, I think we did our first podcast. So we're new. We're baby entrepreneurs in the scheme of the entrepreneurial world. And to censor, and that's what it is, it's censoring. So I want to be clear on restrictions. Now, most of the time, they're going to get you if you're threatening somebody or if you're inciting the V. Use your imagination what the V word is. And what I was showing was, this is actually my second time in 24 hours to be restricted. And the first one was a comment on someone else's post, nothing that I posted, just it was a comment. This particular time, which was actually earlier than the first slap on the wrist, I was doing a live of a live. So someone else was sharing factual information, people that I knew that were on one side of the Capitol building where it was very calm and where you actually saw people being let in very peacefully by people that were either law enforcement or dressed up. I don't know what's true and what isn't true. But it was a very, there was no violence in the video. It was just really showing people entering. And so I was sharing that, doing it as a live. And that is why I was flagged. So I can see posts, but I cannot post. I cannot do lives. I cannot comment for 3 days. And I cannot do lives for 30 days. So what that means is obviously, if I'm connected to Two Sisters, which obviously we are, we're not sure how live we can go. So we're trying it this way. There's always ways to get around it. Yes, there are terms of service that we all agree to. And I with anything, there's rules and regulations, of course. So it's not that I'm a rule breaker, because I really feel what I was doing there was nothing wrong. I wasn't inciting violence. I wasn't threatening anyone. Sharing. The other thing was a picture of the actual inside of the Capitol where, again, you draw your own conclusions to what it is, but it's a still picture, and they flag that as well. So these are minor things, and I find it quite hilarious where they're showing so much violence of different protests. I'm not going to name the names of the different protests, and they're not flagged, but yes, some 63-year-old woman, I just turned 63, is being flagged for what I think is not in violation of their terms and service. But it is what it is, and you move on. So is that going to derail my mindset? Absolutely not. As a matter of fact, it is going to fire me up even more. So what's going on in your Monday morning?
Well, there's always something going on here. Suffice it to say, it's kind of a doom and gloomy kind of day, which a lot of times, especially on a Monday, even though we know that the week technically begins on a Sunday, Monday really is kind of the focal point for the start of people's work week. And when you wake up in that sense, especially obviously with everything going on, and it's a Monday and you have doom and gloom outside, it really wreaks havoc on your psyche. So mindset really is a key to give yourself the opportunity to hit that pause for reflection and do the things that make you want to get out of bed, so to speak, that inspire you to inspire others. Now, part of that for me, obviously, is exercise and all those kind of things. But I did wake up a little late and just barely made it on at 8 o'clock for our podcast. But just, doing some tax prep stuff. I mean, just a whole bunch of stuff going on. Have obviously a couple projects going on, which are very exciting. But, it all goes to show you that there is a passion, there's always a purpose. And I always ask myself, when maybe I do feel a little down, what is my purpose? Who am I serving? Why am I doing this? And a lot of people would say, well, why do you keep asking yourself why? Well, that's the key there, because my why has to be defined bigger than what I anticipate. And a lot of times and that will also help set the tone of your mindset. When you think bigger than what you possibly can put out there, that's where the creativity and everything else comes up as well. And I gotta say, my creativity is on fire. So yeah, just, going through the Mindset Monday and, bringing it home,
I love that. And I love that. I've actually gotten a lot of questions because I can still message people, and I had to respond to a couple of posts via obviously Messenger. And they said, well, how do you do this? If you're an entrepreneur and you really rely on social media platforms to do your business, to reach out to people, to share what's going on in your life, share the goodness of what you are really passionate about. And I always look at it, it's a pivot. Was it a big pivot within a short period of time? Absolutely. But that doesn't stop me from keeping my mindset positive, because I know I'm impacting people, informing people of what's going on in our world and correlating that with how it affects our health and wellness is an important issue. What is going on in our world also impacts people that suffer from depression, anxiety, that have health issues, that maybe have mental issues, which these things that, say, a normal mindset can handle, and it's a divot, for them, it might be a huge pivot, because how do I do that? I can't do that. I need to go to my AA meetings. I need to go to my counseling meetings. I need that physical contact, and they're preventing me, whether it's through social media, government, community restrictions, state restrictions, at-home orders. How are we going to handle that as a society? Because it's going to impact us. We are in an unprecedented time that it is going to get bumpy. It has been bumpy, and we've been warned about this. And frequently, I was on a community group yesterday, and we were talking and sharing information. And they, some people had said, well, why are you trying to change, others' minds? And we talk about that often. We are not here to change your mind unhealthy. We're not here to change your mind on politics. We're not here to change your mind on what's going on in the world. We are here to impact you, to collaborate and help you find strategies that are going to help you balance all of these things. help you live a healthier life. At the end of the day, we can't tell you not to put that Oreo cookie in your mouth. At the end of the day, we can't tell you to get your lazy sloth butt off the couch, or if you're going to sit on the couch, at least do some activities that you can do while sitting down. We're going to provide ways in which you can achieve what you want to achieve in a manner in which that you can achieve them with many ways, because everyone has all different levels, right? We have beginners, we have intermediates, we have people that excel at athletics that are very much into their fitness, and we have other people that this may be their first day of saying, you know what, I want to make a change. And we don't want to use the excuses of what is going on in our world to prevent us from collaborating with others that can help us through these times. So yes, it is a divot right now because I can't get on my own page, but I can still share. And do I have to do things a little bit differently for a few days? Absolutely. But that is the risk that when you are speaking your truths, and when we are in the time with big text the way that we are, that will influence even the smallest of person. And when I say that, I don't mean that we are small people, but comparably speaking to other major entrepreneurs out there, major people that you see in public, why go after somebody like myself? There was no violence, whatever. So, but it is what it is. I can't change it. So am I going to shame Facebook about it? No, those are the terms in their service. I don't agree with them. But at the end of the day, right now, there's nothing I can do about it. I hope that one day, as a community, we can, if certain things happen regarding big techs, to not keep them so protected, because for some people, this will derail what they're doing for a living. This will derail their freedom of speech. This will derail their mindset. To sometimes some people are not, strong enough, and or they just going to succumb to this, big brother on your back. I have no intention of backing down my message. I will not be intimidated. There are many platforms out there that are going to be available, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah, speaking of different platforms, they're a hot new one, and I think we may have briefly chatted about this. It's called Clubhouse. People are going nuts over Clubhouse. Some people are even selling their invites to that, which I think is ridiculous, but that's just my take on it. There's also another one called Riff, RIFFR, where you can collaborate and do just a 3-minute message or podcast, whatever you want to call it. I went on Clubhouse. I don't know a lot about it, but it's an online forum where you can have a discussion like we are now. It's audio, and you can invite people to come in. People can come in and hear you live through that, through whatever you're talking about. Riff, or I assume that is how you pronounce it. It is very interesting, and that might be a way for other people out there that are currently maybe on restriction with certain platforms to have their voice heard, and send a little clip of that to whomever you're trying to reach out to. There's always a different avenue and a different aspect which you can communicate. Excuse me. Of course, there's always email, messenger, however you communicate with your loved ones or your audience, your clients. But those are some ones that I thought were somewhat interesting. There's also a lot of people are going over to MeWe. I've been doing a lot of research on MeWe. It's an interesting platform, I will say that, a little different, but very similar. Excuse me, very similar to Facebook, where you can have your own personal page. You can have a business page. There's different groups. So very similar in that respect. I am on there as well. I haven't been on there too much, just researching a lot of information for other clients. So though, again, there's always a different avenue. There's also those different phone apps I think one of them is called WhatsApp.
Yeah, I've heard mixed reviews on that. And a matter of fact, a lot of people now are chatting about Telegram, which is another one. I get, we're being over inundated with so many apps, but they're giving us alternatives. And I think the great thing about that is capitalism. It's showing that entrepreneurs can say, you know what, let's see if we can get this app going. There are so many restrictions going on, but one that in particular that I thought was very interesting, and I'm going to go on my Facebook page because it was actually the inventor of the World Wide Web. And a lot of people kind of forgot about him. And he is the type of entrepreneur that he does things because he truly believes in free speech. He truly believes in freedom of expression. And he built the World Wide Web. And he is now looking to build a new web, I guess you would call it, but it is going to be called Inrupt, INRUPT. And it's going to be a new internet. So where his point is where we control our own data, because that is a big common denominator of a lot of these big techs, is that you agree to their terms and service, but they can take you down any time you can. So I do recommend, because of the kind of kookiness that we're about to go into, to make sure, and there's different devices. I don't know if I have the device handy. It's a device that you can actually put on your phone, and it has a memory card, and you can make sure that you don't lose your important information, like your photos. Go through your memories. If there's pictures on there that, you may have changed phones and you don't have that photo anymore, make sure you're backing up to another device, a memory stick or whatever, to make sure you don't lose that. Because that's probably when you don't have that warning and all of a sudden you are not just restricted, they take you down. You lose a lot of content that you created because they're the ones who actually own your page. You don't. A lot of people think they do, but you really don't. So I advise everyone, regardless of what platform you're choosing to get your message out, to share your vision, to share maybe products, maybe services, make sure that you do your due diligence. And I'm not telling anyone to change who you are, because I have no intention of changing who I am. Will I dance around what I think will be acceptable? Absolutely, but I plan on still getting my message out, because there's also Parler. There's many, many amazing products that are out there. And no, some of them don't have all the bells and whistles that the bigger techs do. Some don't have the capacity of working as fast as some of these big tech companies, because you got to remember, everything is driven by money and power. And it's who's behind any particular app or who they get that's backing them. So a lot of these big techs are actually controlled, contributed, and pushed by even a bigger enterprise, a bigger entity, a bigger body. So while people, you hear a lot of times they may talk about the particular CEO of these platforms, there's somebody else backing them. As wealthy as they are, there's even another bridge of wealth and power that's pushing agendas and pandering and all that stuff. So you have to kind of put that all into play. But his last name is Berners-Lee, and first name is Tim. So it's Tim Berners-Lee. He is a technology guru. And the cool thing they call him the father of the internet. The cool thing about him is he doesn't like how the big tech companies have effectively centralized the internet. That's one of his big key pieces he does not like, and how they control people's data, because that's where you get a lot of security breaches and whatnot. So he is looking to basically interrupt how we do things right now. And it's going to be a startup. He's working, he's been working at Stealth for about 9 months, it says. He took a sabbatical from his actual position at MIT, because that's where he's from and that's where he works. And he wants to build a solid platform and I'm just looking at my notes, so that's why I keep looking down. And he wants it solidly designed to be like the early days of the internet. So, wild, free, free of all this, what we're kind of changed to right now with data and who controls your own information. And I love that idea because it's disrupting. It's disrupting. And if you don't have somebody out there that's disrupting the market, disrupting the way that we think that we see things are being done and feel like we don't have the ability because we're not big enough to empower people to do that, having somebody disrupt the system is a good thing. It shows that we still have innovation out there. It shows that we have minded people that are using their skills that they have in their mindset to say, hey, there is a better way, or may not necessarily be better, but it's going to be another avenue of choice for people. And I think that is so important that Americans and citizens everywhere have choice in decisions on who they want to do business with and not be just stuck in a pocket.
Choice, freedom, and they can't take that away. On that note, Mindset Monday, there's always a way to get your message out there. It may not be how you thought it would be, but sometimes that could be a really good thing. On that note, we wish you a wonderful Monday. Come and check us out on the page. We'll make sure that this copy of this gets uploaded to the TwoSistas page, probably in a couple hours. But on that note, my name is Janice, aka Wellness Diva, along with TwoSistas,
and this is Carol Sue, aka Live Naughty Boss, somewhere on the web. Bye bye, guys. Have a great Monday, and don't forget Tuesday. What's Tuesday all about? Triumph. I think there's going to be some good triumphs today. We'll chat about that tomorrow. Have a good day, guys.
Bye, everyone.